Right. Hi guys. Good morning, everyone. Is it everyone is able to see my screen? Is it the screen is visible to everyone? Just you can respond in the
Yes.
chat windows. Yeah. Everyone can respond in the chat window. By that, the other people will not be having any disturbance. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's get started then. Yeah. So the today's session is I want to be get given a overview on software testing. Okay, so what exactly mean by software testing and how this particular software testing will be helping in getting entering into the IT industry. Okay, so we'll get understand about how to enter into the IT industry and then how we can learn this particular software testing and what exactly mean by this particular software testing here. Okay, let's see that. Yeah. So first, let me explain from my side. First, I will give an overview on what is mean by software testing, and after that, I will respond all your questions here. Whatever the clarifications you are having from your side, just you can ping in the chat window. By that, I will be getting responding into the chat window here. Okay. So first, let me complete my explanation from my side, and then you will be getting started, right? So, and then we'll be getting started giving with the clarification for all your questions here. Okay. Let's see that. The very first understanding what exactly mean by this particular software testing. Okay, the very simple understanding, we need to be testing a one application. Okay, if you want to be get test any software which need to be get, okay, if you want to be test any application, first we have to be understand that what kind of functionalities need to be tested. Okay, so if I'm taking with the software testing means in simple we can say that testing an application based on client requirements. Okay, so if I'm taking with the software testing means we can say that testing an application based on client requirements. Okay, you will not be testing by your own, just you need to be get understand that what are the client requirements are there. Based on client requirements you need to be testing a application. So this particular software testing which it got divided into two types here. Okay, if I'm taking with the software testing which it has been divided into two types. In that one it will be mentioning about taking with manual testing, another one which it will be mentioning about taking with automation testing. If I'm taking with the software testing, which it has been divided into two types here. One, I will be mentioning about taking with manual testing. Another one, which it will be mentioning about taking with automation testing. Manual testing means if I'm taking with the manual testing, okay, manual testing means need to be do it manually, right? So if I'm taking with the manual testing which need to be get mentioning about doing it manually here, right? So that is nothing but which we can say that doing with the help of human interactions. Okay, if I'm taking with the manual testing, we have to be do it. If I'm taking with the automation testing, tool has to be perform it. Right. So which it will be mentioning about manual testing. We have to be do it. Automation testing need to be performed by the tool here. Now we can see here manual testing done by human interactions, automation testing done by the tool. If I'm taking with the automation tool in a market, we are having multiple automation tools are there, but for the current market, which it will be taking with Selenium here. In case of manual testing, what exactly we need to be doing? In case of manual testing, what exactly we have to be learn or what we will be doing as a manual tester? As a manual tester, you need to be get understand about with the requirements, which it will be mentioning about requirements understanding, and after that which it will be mentioning about coming up with preparing test plan, and then need to be get prepared test scenarios. We need to be design test scenarios, and after that need to be get design test cases, and then need to be get mentioning about taking with test execution, right? So which it will be mentioning about taking with test execution. And after that, which it will be mentioning about taking with bug reporting, and then taking with the last activity mentioning about test closure here, right? If I'm taking with the manual testing, if I'm taking with the manual testing, as part of manual testing, first we need to be get understand the requirement. Because as a tester, if you want to be test an application, first you need to be very clear what kind of functionalities need to be tested. Third, you will be taking with requirement understanding. And after that, which it will be taking with test plan. Need to be get understand about in implementing with test plan. After that, need to be get design test scenarios, and then need to be get design test cases. After that, doing with the execution, and then taking with bug reporting, and then taking with test closure. So as a manual tester, it may be fresher level or it may be experience level, need to be get comfortable in getting understanding about these concepts. Once you guys has been joined into the real-time companies, once you have been joined in the real-time companies, you need to be get comfortable in getting performing these particular steps. So once manual testing part has been done, then automation testing will be coming into the picture. If I'm taking automation testing, if I'm taking with the automation testing, in a market, there are multiple automation tools are available. We got QTP, Selenium, RFT, Test Complete, Sikoli, Auto IT. Multiple automation tools are available in a market. Among all the tools, the current market we are getting for Selenium here. So why the clients are interested to get work with only Selenium? Why not other automation tools that will get understand on it? So now, as a tester, if you want to be get into the IT industry in a very easy manner, we can say that software testing is one of the options. Because while taking with the software testing in getting doing manual testing, you doesn't require any programming knowledge. Okay, you doesn't require any programming, any coding part. Just if you're having a very normal computer knowledge, that is the more enough for doing manual testing. Once you get comfortable with manual testing, very easily you can get started working with automation testing. If you want to be getting a job in testing, you need to be comfortable with manual testing and automation testing. Then only it will become in a very easy to get any job and to survive in the job here. Only manual testing, it will be little bit difficult, and only automation testing also it will be little bit difficult. As a tester, you need to be comfortable working on manual testing and automation testing. Then it will become in a very easy to get in a job and then to get survive in the job market. So manual testing, very easily we can understand that in getting performing, requirement understanding, taking with the test plan, test scenarios, test cases, test execution, and bug reporting and test closure activities. If I'm taking with automation testing, as part of automation testing in Selenium, what we have to be learned here. Okay, let's see that. As part of automation testing in Selenium, what we need to be get learning. First, we'll get understand that why we are giving more preference for Selenium. Why not other automation tools here? As we are having multiple tools are available in the market, why we are giving more preference for Selenium? Why not other automation tools? What make you advantages of Selenium here? Okay, let's see here. The very first step, if I'm taking with the Selenium, which it will be mentioning, that Selenium is purely open source automation tool. If I'm taking with the Selenium, Selenium is purely open source automation tool here. That means to work with the Selenium, to get started working with the Selenium, you doesn't require to spend any budget for working on the tool here, which is purely open source automation tool. If I'm taking with the Selenium, to get started working with the Selenium, you doesn't require to spend any budget, which is purely open source automation tool. This is the very first reason why we are getting more market for Selenium and why the clients are interested to get work with the Selenium. Because if you're thinking about with the client perspective, client doesn't require to spend any budget for taking with license on the tool here. And after that, Selenium will be supporting for multiple browsers. We can work with IE browser, taking with the Firefox, and then taking with the Chrome or any other browsers are there. It can be supported by Selenium. We are not having any restrictions to get work with any of the browser. Okay, we are not having any restrictions to get work with any of the browser here, right? So based on project requirement. Based on project requirement, we can take with the help of any of the browser here. And after that, if I'm taking with the Selenium, it will be getting supported for multiple languages. If I'm taking with the Selenium, if I'm taking with the Selenium, which it will be getting supported for multiple languages here, right? If I'm taking that particular languages, if I'm taking that particular languages, which it will be having, right? If I'm taking that particular languages, which it will be getting supported for 6 programming languages. Selenium is getting supported for 6 programming languages. In that, one you will be taking with Java, and then taking with Python, and then taking with PHP, and then taking with the Perl, and then taking with the Ruby. Okay, so if I'm taking with the Selenium, if I'm taking with the Selenium, which it will be getting supported for 6 languages, though it will be mentioning about Java, and then taking with the Python, and then taking with the PHP, and then taking with the Perl, and then Ruby, and then C#. Right. Now, to work with the Selenium, you will not be learning all the languages. If you know any one language, we can work with the combination of Selenium, like Selenium with Java, Selenium with Python, Selenium with PHP. Based on the project requirement, based on the project requirement, we have a possibility in getting working with any of the tool here, right? So based on the project requirement, based on the project requirement, we are having with the possibility in getting working with any of language. When you compare all these languages, when you compare all these languages, we got a more futures in Java. That is the reason if we look into the Selenium job market, always the job openings will be there with the combination of Selenium with the Java. But it's not like you need to be becoming a pure Java developer. As a tester, you need to be get understand a basic knowledge on Java, then it will become in a very easy to get started working with the Selenium here. So if I'm taking our training, whenever we are providing with the training on Selenium, we used to be get provide Selenium with the combination of Java here. So which it will be getting with the training Selenium with the combination of Java here. And after that, which it will be mentioning about taking with the next advantage, that it will be mentioning about taking with multi-platform here. That means multiple operating system. If I'm taking with the multi-platform, mentioning about multiple operating system. Okay, Selenium will be supporting for Windows operating system. It will support for Mac, and it will be getting supported for Linux. Any operating system will be getting supported by Selenium. We are not having any restrictions to get work with. We are not having any restrictions to get work with any of the operating system. Based on the project requirement, we can take with the help of any of operating system. So if we take advantages, Selenium is purely open source automation tool, and then support for multiple browsers, and supports for multiple languages, and then supports for multiple operating system. There are technical advantages also there. There are technical advantages also there that you will be understanding in the actual sessions here. This is a very simple understanding why we are preferring to work with the Selenium tool when you work with other automation tools here. Okay, now if I'm taking a more information on Selenium, if I'm taking with more details on Selenium, in general, we used to be mentioning that Selenium is one automation tool, right? So if I'm taking with the Selenium, we used to be get mentioning that Selenium is one automation tool. That is correct only. We can say that Selenium is one automation tool only. Okay, so if I'm taking with the Selenium, we can say that Selenium is one automation tool only. But originally, if I'm taking with the Selenium, originally, if I'm taking with the Selenium, we used to be get mentioning that Selenium is one API having group of components. Selenium is one API having group of components here. Okay. Right. Guys, if you're having any questions, I will be responding in the chat window. First, let me complete my explanation. The people who are live in the YouTube, the people who are hearing from the YouTube, I will be responding all your clarifications at the end of the session. Okay, so just let me complete my explanation. At the end of the session, you can start typing all your questions in the YouTube live. I will be responding all your questions here. I will get clarify all your questions. Okay, right. If I'm taking with the Selenium, if I'm taking with the Selenium, we used to be mentioning that Selenium is one API having group of components here. In that, the very first component mentioning the Selenium ID, and after that we got a Selenium RC, and then which it will be mentioning about Selenium WebDriver, and after that which it will be mentioning about taking with Selenium Grid here. So if I'm taking with the Selenium, if I'm taking with the Selenium, Selenium did not introduced into the market with one single day here. Okay, so if I'm taking with the Selenium has been introduced into the market based on the market demand. So based on the market requirement, it has been introduced into the tool, introduced into the market. So the very first component has been introduced. The very first component has been introduced is which it will be mentioning the Selenium grid. Sorry, Selenium ID. The functionality of Selenium IDE, the functionality of Selenium ID, which it will be mentioning the record and playback. The functionality of Selenium IDE, which it will be mentioning the record and playback. That means in Selenium IDE, we can perform recording activities and we can take playback activities here. Okay, so if I'm taking with the Selenium, which it will be mentioning about taking with the record, and then we can take with playback activities here. Okay, right. Now the major drawback, if I'm taking with the drawback, right? So if I'm taking with the major drawback, right? So if I'm taking with the major drawback of Selenium ID is, which it will be mentioning the record and playback. The drawback is programming. We cannot implement it. We cannot implement it any programming activities. We cannot implement it any programming activities in Selenium ID here because it has been performing only record and playback. We cannot perform any programming activities. For the purpose of performing with the programming activities, which it will be taking with the help of Selenium RC. If I'm taking with the Selenium RC, if I'm taking with the Selenium RC, which you used to be get mentioning the remote control. RC means remote control. While working with the Selenium RC, we got a possibility in getting implementing all programming activities. While working with the Selenium RC, we got a possibility in getting taking all programming activities here, right? And once Selenium RC has been came into the market, which it has been provided the number that is considering as a Selenium 1.0. While working with the Selenium RC, we are having with some drawback. To get overcome the drawbacks in Selenium RC, we need to be take with the help of Selenium WebDriver. We can call as a Selenium WebDriver, or which it will be considered Selenium 3.0, or which it will be mentioning about for 3.0, and we are having 4.0 also. So still 4.0 is in the stage of alpha testing. It is not came into the live, but there is a possibility of 4.0 also coming into the live here. Okay, so either we can call as a Selenium WebDriver, or we got a possibility in getting taking with Selenium 2.0, or we can consider as a 3.0, or which it will be getting considering as a 4.0. And after that, we got a Selenium grid. If I'm taking with the Selenium grid, which it has been used to execute automation scripts in multiple systems. That means parallel execution. Parallelly, if you want to be get executive or automation scripts in multiple system, or which it will be taking with multiple browser, then you will be taking with the help of Selenium grid here. So in simple, we can say that if I'm taking with the Selenium, we used to be get mentioning that Selenium is one API having group of components here. Every component is an individual component. Every component is an individual component here. There is no way of connectivity of these components here. If I'm taking these particular two components, Selenium ID and Selenium RC has been totally outdated. If I'm taking with the current market, Selenium ID and Selenium RC has been totally outdated. Outdated means Selenium ID can be used just to understand how we can perform the record and playback activities. But in the real time, you will not be working with the Selenium ID, and you will not be working with Selenium RC. In the real time, we need to be get understand about in getting working with WebDriver. If I'm taking with the real time, we need to be get understand about in getting working with WebDriver here. At the same time, if I'm taking with the Selenium grid, if I'm taking with the Selenium grid, we got a possibility in getting executing the scripts in multiple system or taking with multiple browsers here. Okay, now if I'm taking with our training, as part of our training program, we need to be get understand about in getting taking with Selenium WebDriver. Apart from Selenium WebDriver, apart from the Selenium WebDriver, to take added advantage, we need to be get understand about some more tools also. As part of this Selenium training, you will be getting understanding about some more tools also. In that, need we get understand about working with the combination of Selenium with test engine. We need to be get understand about working with the combination of Selenium with test engine. And after that, need we get discussing about in getting taking with different kind of automation frameworks. In that, you will be getting understanding about taking with hybrid framework and which it will be taking with POM, right? So which it will be taking with the hybrid framework and which it will be taking with POM. Still, you will be getting understanding about other frameworks also. And then need to be get understand about in getting taking with auto IT tool and then which it will be taking with Sikoli tool here. And after that need to be get understand about taking with Maven and then which need to be get mentioning about Cucumber and after that which it will be taking with API testing here. So these things not like mandatory to make an added advantage to get any comfortable with the automation tool. We need to be get understand about in getting taking with all these concepts here. So the whole conclusion is if you want to be get enter into the IT industry in a very easy manner, if you want to be get enter into the IT industry in a very easy manner, the best option we can select software testing. Because while working with the software testing, you doesn't require any major programming skills. You doesn't require any major programming skills. Manual testing is purely working with the English only. Automation testing, basic syntax has been required. That syntax you will be learning as part of our training program. So if we take our total training program, you will get understand about manual testing with one project and automation testing with one project. By the completion of the training program, you will become in a comfortable working on manual testing and which it will become in a or comfortable with working on automation testing. If I'm taking with the current market, if I'm taking with the current market, we got a huge demand for the software testing. So don't get worried about with the current situation. This COVID situation is a just temporary purpose, and that too, it will not affect you fresher level or experience of just 3 to 4 years of experience doesn't make any problem. For the fresher level and then taking with the experience level, very easily we can get survive in the market here. So this just I want to be given a overview of basic information related to software testing. Okay, right. So from your side, if you're having any kind of questions or there, you can type in the chat window. YouTube viewers also, you guys can type your questions in the chat window. The people who are watching from the YouTube, just okay. So the people who are watching from the YouTube, Just you can ping your questions in the chat window. I will be responding to all your questions here. Okay. So from your side, if you're having any kind of questions, you can ping in the chat window. I'll be responding it. So you can type all your questions in the chat windows. Any questions from your side? Yeah. So Selenium will be supporting parallel execution. Yes. Yes, Mahadev, we can do with the parallel execution by using with the Selenium. We are having with the possibility to get implement with the parallel execution from Selenium. Yeah. So course fee, related to the course fee, you can connect with the management team. Related to the course fee, you can connect to the management team. I will be giving with the number. I'll be giving with the number. So just let me type in the chart window. Just I'm typing in the chart window. So if you're having any questions related to fees related, just you can type in the chart window. For the YouTube viewers, I'm just giving with the number. So you can contact on the number taking with the 82476 01157. You will be getting with the fee details. Course duration will be taking within the 1.5 month, so you can understand like 50 hours, including manual testing and automation testing, including manual testing and automation testing. With the project, you will be getting with the 50 to 55 hours of the session. Okay. What kind of job opportunities you will be having? So what kind of job opportunities is you will be having with the possibility in getting taking with the fresher level. Okay. So which it will be having with the possibility as a fresher level, you can go with the job, or in case if you're thinking about with the experience, you will be having with the possibility to get in a job as 3 to 4 years of experience. Okay. Right. So once you're comfortable with manual testing and automation testing, once you're comfortable with manual testing and automation testing, then it will become in a very easy. Then it will become in a very easy to get any job here. Okay, but you need to be comfortable with the subject wise. Then it will become an easy to get in a job. Yeah. 19 pass out, very easily you can get any job. 19 pass out, any BTech. For learning with the testing, we are not having any academic background. That means it's not like that you need to be BTech only computer science, BTech any stream, any degree is okay for doing this particular training program, because it's not like in a much difficult when you compare with other training programs here. So very easily you can learn with the training program without having any prior knowledge here. You doesn't require any programming knowledge. You doesn't require any programming knowledge or coding knowledge. Very easily you can do this particular training here. Okay. Yeah. So fresher level also can join, doesn't make any problem. Even though fresher level also can join it, doesn't make any problem. So you need to be comfortable with this concept wise, because as a fresher level or experience level, when you're attending with the interviews, they'll be asking about the questions based on manual testing and based on automation testing. So very easily we can get in a job here. Okay. Right. What would be the training time? So for now, from tomorrow, we are starting with the new batch at morning 7:30 a.m. IST. The new batch is getting started from tomorrow. The new batch is getting started from tomorrow. That is at 7:30 a.m. IST. Okay. Yeah. So another question. Graphic knowledge and programming knowledge doesn't make any problem. So if you're having any other prior knowledge also, it will not be any issue. If I'm taking with the software testing training program, it's not like any that much of difficult. Very easily you can do this particular training. Doesn't make any problem here. Okay. Yeah. Still any more other questions? So classroom training will be getting started from tomorrow. So classroom training is getting started. Sorry, I mean the training is getting started from tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. IST. Okay. Yeah. So related to the fee questions, you can connect it to the management team. If you have any technical questions, you can ask it. If you're having any technical question, then you can ask me. Pass out also doesn't make any problem. Any year of pass out is okay. Okay. So pass out or BTech or any normal degree is okay. Okay. Right. So if you're giving in a gap, if you're giving in a gap, how to fill that particular gap will be suggesting it. So that will be discussing it. So certification will be provided. You will be getting with the course completion certificate. Okay. So which it will be getting course completion certificate will be there. So once your total training program completed, you will be getting course completion certificate will be there. Okay. Right. Still any other questions from your side? Right. So in case if you're having more training queries related to the training program, you can contact to this number. You can contact to this number which have been displayed in the screen. You can contact to this particular number or directly you can call to the Naresh IT. So you can call to the Naresh IT website. So there you will be able to get with the details. If required more details, you can contact on that particular number. Yeah. So placements also will be there. So placements also will be there. Yeah. So we'll be having with the placements guidance will be there. Right. Okay then. So if you don't have any questions, then we can exit from the meeting. So the people who are interested in getting joining with the training program, you can contact the management team to get in a meeting ID for tomorrow. Okay. So the session, the new batch is getting started from tomorrow. The new batch is getting started from tomorrow. So from tomorrow at the time of 7:30 a.m. IST, the new batch will be getting started. Okay. Class will be on the daily basis. The class will be on the daily basis, Monday to Saturday. In general, Monday to Friday, regularly it will be there. Saturday, it will depends on it based on the availability, but sessions will be continued from Monday to Friday here. Okay. We don't have any group for now. We don't have any WhatsApp group. We don't have any WhatsApp group for now. You can just contact to the management team, which have been given the number in the screen. So on the screen, you will be able to see the number. You can just contact to that number for the more information. Okay. Yeah. Okay then. Thank you guys. Thanks everyone. Thanks for attending the session. Thank you all.